One of the biggest questions in the Naruto fandom is how much does Sarada know about the Uchiha massacre, about her father's past as a rogue ninja who allied with the Akatsuki, and when will she learn everything that was hidden from the public record in Konoha's library because she couldn't read the books on the Uchiha clan that were restricted access earlier in the anime? Well, what if I told you that we were actually given the answer to the big question of Sarada and the Uchiha clan? In today's video, I wanted to share with you guys the truth that many of you guys might not be aware of, which is that Sasuke has taken Sarada with him to the Uchiha clan's official gravesite / memorial. Now, some of you guys might be wondering, wait, when did this happen? Why did this happen? And what was the context behind it? So here's the thing about that. We actually learned that Sasuke has taken Sarada with him to visit the Uchiha gravesite in the Boruto era from Naruto Uzumaki himself, and it's extremely important to understand why learning this information from Naruto's perspective is so important, because it continues something that Naruto promised when he first spoke of being Hokage, which is to be a Hokage unlike every other Hokage who came before him. And in typical Naruto fashion, he did just that, which is why there's even an Uchiha gravesite for Sasuke to take his daughter to go visit. So in Boruto's anime, we've seen the Senju Park, an area specifically set up to pay homage to the Senju clan line that also doubles as a park for the public to go visit in. But in the Boruto anime, we haven't seen anything like that for the Uchiha clan, which rightfully has some fans saying that's not fair at all because they're one of the co-founding clans of the village, and while they did make some mistakes, their clan still deserves to be honored just like the Senju. Well, all of that changed under Naruto's Hokage, and it's a change made for the better, and it's one that Sasuke himself has finally accepted, and we see that with him being willing to take his daughter to the gravesite for the Uchiha clan. This also follows a second important trend of Naruto wanting to walk a narrow line of honoring the Uchiha clan while also making people aware that Itachi wasn't as bad as they thought. So that's also important to keep in mind as we look at why the Uchiha gravesite is developed and why Sasuke takes his daughter to the grave. So in my video on how Naruto restored the honor of the Uchiha clan, I spoke about how after the Fourth Great Ninja War, there was a bit of a rift between Naruto and Sasuke for a time because Naruto had been going out of his way to cleanse Itachi's name. Naruto stopped just short of revealing that Itachi had been ordered to massacre the Uchiha for the village and that he was actually spying on the Akatsuki for the village itself. However, what Naruto chose to do at the peak of his popularity after the Fourth Great Ninja War was let people know it's okay if you want to call me a war hero, but understand if Itachi had not helped us out, if he had not helped me out specifically, the war wouldn't have ended because I wouldn't have been in a position to end the war at all. Naruto told everyone who would listen the truth about Itachi being more complicated than they realized, and that one day they might understand depending on how the situations shake out. In the Sasuke Book of Sunrise novel, we learn Sasuke learns that information, and when he does, he's furious because he doesn't think it's something that Itachi would have wanted, but he's also touched that Naruto would go so far to try and cleanse Itachi's name and raise the status of the Uchiha clan even further, because as I discussed in my video on why Sasuke is still in probation in the Boruto era, not everyone is forgiving Sasuke, the last full-blooded Uchiha, and some view him as a stain on the village, much like Itachi. So now that we have the context for what's happened, I'm going to share the information that we got from the Naruto light novel, Naruto Retsuden, the 7th Hokage, and the Spiral of Destiny, where Naruto reveals that Sasuke's begun taking Sarada to the Uchiha gravesite after she became a Genin. It's here I'm going to begin reading the passage from the novel where Naruto's in extremely deep thought, looking out at the village, all while sitting on top of Minato's Hokage head, and then I'm going to come back and explain to you guys further. And it's here I quote, "The village was at peace. No one was afraid that tomorrow another country would attack and kill them, that they'd be threatened with food shortages, or that their father who went out on duty wouldn't return home. Kakashi Sensei now laughs and he tells tales of Obito and about Minato as sensei. Sasuke takes Sakura and Sarada to the Uchiha clan's gravesite. Even with these sad memories, little by little, everyone is moving forward." End quote. Now, what I want you guys to pay attention to is that last line on there. Naruto reveals that even with the sad memories, little by little, everyone is moving forward. Inside the village, Naruto's Hokage has set aside a section that serves as a grave memorial for the Uchiha clan, and that small memento is very huge because those very same villagers who heard Naruto swearing up and down that Itachi wasn't evil, that they couldn't have won the war without Itachi's help, and that maybe one day they see Itachi in the same light that Naruto did, those same villagers have watched Naruto do something that no other Hokage before him did, which is give the Uchiha their own specific labeled memorial. We've seen Senju get their own part, but we've seen nothing of the sorts with the Uchiha clan. Naruto has changed that as Hokage. That one change that Naruto's done shows that everything that he uttered after the Fourth Great Ninja War, it hadn't been by mistake. There was more to the Uchiha clan than a lot of the villagers realized. Naruto was setting the stage for people to understand that. Sasuke taking the daughter who we know has been thirsting for more information about her clan to their memorial is something that is very huge. As Naruto's monologue stated, little by little, everyone's moving forward, meaning that they're moving away from the sins of the past, which means that as more time goes by, some of those sins from the past can be talked about without those major ramifications. I wanted to bring this to you guys' attention because there have been many who believe that Sarada, once she learns the truth about the Uchiha clan, is going to go on her own demon arc, and others believe that Sasuke and Sarada are being bad parents by keeping that knowledge from her because as their child she deserves to know the truth, but that's not necessarily the truth all the way. However, small scenes like this, they're very open-ended and I love it. Sasuke taking his daughter to their memorial could mean that he's telling her the truth, or it could mean that Sasuke's laying the groundwork to tell his daughter the truth eventually. However, the fact that Sasuke waited until she became a ninja and got experience as a ninja, that is very important to keep in mind because his daughter now knows that the world isn't black and white. There are shades of gray that have to be addressed. Only children see the world in black and white. The real world is way more complicated. Sasuke has said more than once that he supports his daughter becoming Hokage, and if she is to become Hokage one day, she's going to need to be a Hokage who understands the true significance of an Uchiha becoming Hokage. She wasn't the first Uchiha to want to be Hokage. The Itachi Book of Daylight novel reveals that Itachi studied the prior Hokage. He studied the history of the village and he wanted to become Hokage, which lines up with Hiruzen telling Sasuke in the Uchiha Shrine during the Fourth Great Ninja War that Itachi at the age of 6 had the wisdom of a Hokage. Fugaku Uchiha had his own dreams of being Hokage crushed following the Third Great Ninja War, where his efforts during the war were stripped from public record despite him being the only person besides Minato who had a do not engage order in that war because he earned the nickname Wicked Eye Fugaku because of his genjutsu, being blamed for the Nine Tails attacks despite the elders in Danzo forbidding him from going to stop the Nine Tails. When Fugaku made it clear that he was going to use genjutsu to control the Nine Tails, which I've covered on my Kryptonian Insane channel years ago in a video how Fugaku almost fought the Nine Tails. We have Sarada's own father who wanted to become Hokage, though it was a twisted version of Hokage where he would rule the world as a dictator. Itachi, Fugaku, Sasuke each saw the problems of the ninja system and they saw being Hokage as a way to right that ship, but each of them succumbed to that same ninja system and it derailed their plans. Itachi made a complicated decision to massacre his clan for the village. Fugaku sought to take that position by force. Sasuke wanted to follow in his father's footsteps and take the mantle by force, but not just rule over Konoha, but all the ninja villages and force upon change. Even Madara Uchiha had hoped to be Hokage when Hashirama offered it to him, only to be crushed when he overheard Tobirama tell Hashirama that Madara would never be accepted as Hokage. Sarada becoming Hokage wipes away a lot of the blood on the ledger for the Uchiha, but she has to know what it took for her to even get there to become Hokage. She has to know where others before her stepped into the darkness and the ugly side of the truth about Konoha, so she can be a better Uchiha, so she can be a better Hokage. Sarada can't do that without Naruto making the small things like making the Uchiha Memorial as Hokage, and years before he became Hokage, trying to tell people to respect Itachi as a war hero and respect Itachi as a leaf shinobi and not as an Akatsuki criminal. It takes Naruto being Hokage unlike anyone before him, being someone who takes care for not the political optics but cares about doing what is the morally right thing. It takes someone like that to set the stage for somebody like Sarada to become the Hokage, and being able to learn the truth about the Uchiha clan in a way that softens the blow. That way Sarada's mental state of mind doesn't go out of control, because as Naruto said in his monologue, little by little everyone is moving forward. It's slow progress. They're slowly moving away from those painful memories. My question for you guys is, how do you feel about what Naruto's done? Do you think that Boruto's anime should do what it did with the Mirai novel and adapt it in the anime, ignoring the timeline placement, much like where the Mirai novel was set in the academy, but in the anime it was post Momoshiki arc, very similar to how Naruto's Weddings novel took place before Sasuke versus Chino, but they adapted Sasuke versus Chino first, and then they did Naruto's wedding novel after the fact. Do you think the anime should share with us these small moments like I just shared with you in this video? Small moments like this that show us just how much of an impact Naruto's made as Hokage.